After a fairly long break from the previous round at Virginia International Raceway, it is now time for the classes of the TC America category that make up TCR and TCA to come out here at Sonoma Raceway for qualifying in preparation for their doubleheader weekend here at this absolutely wonderful venue. Great to have you back with us on this very busy morning and an absolutely stunning day here into the mid-70s. Beautiful dry California, low humidity heat, just beautiful here this weekend. And here's a look at the track that the TCR and TCA machines will be going after here. And these TCR cars around here should be quick.
Oh, they're going to be phenomenal. The amount of downforce that they have, their handling ability will be put to the test here. Certainly the racetrack is starting to warm up. Kind of a late morning now here locally, and certainly the temperatures are rising. Going to get very extreme by tomorrow's races. But as you look at the sectors here, very fast start to the lap, big bump as you go through that high speed, uphill climbing turn one. Very technical, lots of elevation change, big demand there on the right side tires. You get through the middle of the sector there, through the carousel, which is turn 6, then in that hairpin, then through the S's, tight chicane, then to finish off the lap, that big braking zone down in that final hairpin. And that's a good opportunity for some overtaking moves in the race.
These TCR cars, very, very good horsepower to weight, what, over 325 some odd horsepower, front wheel drive, no aids on these cars. And talking to some of the drivers, they said with the lack of grip that this track is presenting, they said you really got to be on top of it here to get around it because you don't have any of those aids to help you.
Yeah, it's certainly a challenge, and we see the FCP Euro machines leading the field to the first qualifying laps here this morning, and they're 1-2 in the points as well, having an excellent season, but they got some competition. Mason Philippi is back with the Hyundai, so with QUAL Motorsports, so it'll be good to see how they tackle that. Didn't really set up that very well. Hudson, championship lead, he got into turn 1 really deep, just let the car floats.
You mentioned Philippi, of course, had a very solid weekend at the opening rounds at Circuit of the Americas, but hasn't raced in the championship since. Came back and they were really struggling with some issues, just mechanical stuff on the Thursday test day, some problems with the synchro box and the like. He said that the Copart team went through and whoa, the Copeland team, excuse me, went through, figured it out. And he said, they're really confident again to have a good run here. But in the interim, these FCP Euro lads have just been putting on a show.
They really have, and certainly Hudson's putting on a show right now. Maybe it's his way of generating some tire temp to get this peak lap on the next run. But he's either overdriving it or he's doing it intentionally to generate tire temperature quickly to make this next lap the go lap.
Yeah, the TCR cars had a doubleheader at the street circuit at St. Pete as well, and he got a win and a pole there, and then a second, a win and 2 fast laps at VIR. So he's really been on it here. And, but he's got a very hungry Nate Vincent that just continues to chase him. And you remember Vincent was really the quicker of the two at Circuit of the Americas. A bit of a spin here for the number 77 of Tyler Hagler and one of the X Factor Racing Honda CRXs. Remember, the TCR cars run with the TCA category machines. All right, let's see, Hertzen a 148.9. That's already a better part of a second and a half faster than the fastest time of any practice session.
This lap should be a good lap. This next one, I think, temp should be up, pressure's built. You should start to get the reaction from the car and the handling that you're looking for.
See that little wiggle there by Vincent as he's coming over, chasing his teammate, Hertzen. And the 14 of Harry Cheng, running the Honda Civic Type R.
Hertzen new fastest sector 1. Vincent chases him, but it's 3/10 adrift. A little inter-team rivalry going on. These fellows get along very well. Work for the FCP Euro parts organization, but get to have fun on the race weekend representing their brand very effectively. They have a great business model with all of their parts, lifetime guarantee.
I know, it's
Doesn't
unbelievable.
matter what you're buying from that group.
engine oil. They said, if you want to take the time to drain it, repackage it, and ship it back, we'll send you a brand new quart or gallon for each one you send in. They really do follow through on it. See what hurts this guy. He's up by almost 3/10. It shows through the second sector.
Yeah, well, he had purple sector 1 and 2, but the first sector's been taken away by Philippi. So Philippi's on a good one. Has hurt some finishes off this lap, which should improve his current leading time of a 1:48.9.
And 1:48.7. Yep, right on target based on the predictive here, under by 2/10. Harry Chang just put in a nice lap. Cal jumps to second in the LAP Honda.
Yeah, watch Philippi, though. He's going to jump up the order here. I think there he goes, straight to the top by half a second.
Wow, what a lap. 48.18 for Mason Philippi. So look at Harry. Now we've seen that the Hyundai's awfully quick last year in the hands of the Brian Herta team, and Mason Philippi repeating that with the Copeland team here this year, running the Veloster N, not the I-30 N.
Right. Hyundai have a nice incentive program too, so there's some big dollars that can be won if you win some of these races.
Tell you somebody who's impressing me right now, fastest in the, I remember TCR, there's a class called TCR Cup, and it's for the non-sequential boxes. They're called the DSG gearbox car, and brand new to pro racing on any level. And the number 18 brand new driver to this championship too, Steven Vida, in the EXR team by Prima Audi Sport entry, has gone to the top of the TCR Cup category.
Doing the Vida Loca.
Yeah, it's very impressive.
Chang just bails early on this session, so nice run. Third position right now, about a second off that pole of Philippi. He's ahead of Nate Vincent. See if he can hang on to that.
The driver absent in this session from the TCR Cup class is Mike McCann Jr., who up in turn 4 yesterday in the afternoon practice had a little coming together with the number 15 of Brian Putt, and McCann ended up on his roof. He was fine, but they obviously a lot of work to do in that car, and a problem here for James Walker in the number 34 Risi Racing Alfa Romeo.
Cool story there that the Risi group are competing at Le Mans, so they're over in France right now. And James has a pretty stellar group behind him this weekend in their place, though.
Yeah, well, the factory that designs and builds these cars, Romeo Ferraris, runs the World TCR Championship. Their crew was crewing for him this weekend while the Risi boys are over in France for Le Mans. And he said it's pretty amazing to have the full-on factory crew here. And he has Anthony Lazzaro, who was here to help coach and work with him through the program. And I think it was in 2015 or 2016 when Anthony was running the R Ferry Ferrari and got a big win here.
Yeah.
So he knows his way around. Remember, this is the team in Walker that, if you've been following us all season, had that big shunt in the second race at St. Petersburg. This is a brand new car. They got to VIR. They didn't get the car much before VIR, and they said we just didn't have it dialed at all. And he said we've been able to do a little bit of testing and really spent time during that Thursday test day. And he said car feels pretty good. And he said I'm ready and willing now to push it just a little bit. Just had it sneak away from him apparently there.
Hudson had put in a fastest sector 2 time, but he's bailed to the pit lane, so I'm not sure if he just feels that he's comfortable sitting on the front row alongside Mason Philippi, or whether the tires had just peaked and there was not the performance left to finish off the lap.
And for Walker, he's 6th right now, as we're watching Mason Walker behind him in the Alpha, but there is Mason. Leading in the TCA category is the number 74 entry, the Copeland Motorsports. So right now we got Copeland cars running first overall and first in TCA. Tyler Maxson in his Mazda Global MX-5 Cup machine. He has topped every session in terms of official practice, and now qualifying for Tyler, having a really strong weekend thus far.
It's tight though. He's only got it by just over 1/10 of a second from Haldeman, and our championship leader Whitmer is further 3 or 4 tenths back.
Then Pombo in 4th, and Cole Corralo in the 5th spot. Watching Mason as he starts the climb.
This was an outlap, so I'm not sure if they just adjusted the pressures here and going to have another crack at it. Traffic though, so this is going to stymie things.
Yeah.
Tough around this racetrack. If you do come up on some slower cars, it just kills your sector time.
And here is a look at Tyler in that Mazda. He had a 158.85 in the first practice session to top it, a 158.74 in the hotter second session, and right now at a 57.2 to lead this session. You said not by a lot, but you would think that the MX-5 platform would be really good around here. Light, agile, responsive.
Yep, easy on tires, which is, you know, again, we're talking about qualifying at that peak lap, but today in all of the races, all going to be what do you have at the end of these various stint lengths. 40-minute run for the TC cars here this weekend, 50-minute for GT4 Sprint, 60-minute for Sprint X, and 90 minutes for the GT3 machinery, which is going to be qualifying here in short order.
You would think maybe, you know, getting back to what you're talking about with the tire deg that this track generates in the TCA class, some of the cars are front drive, some are rear. You'd almost think that front drive here might be a little disadvantaged later in the race because you're asking those fronts to do so much.
You really are, particularly through a corner like this. You're trying to get on the power early. You're still loading that left front, and it's just burning off the tire that's being asked to do essentially all of the work. The rears are along for the ride.
He's flashing his lights. He's on a good lap, he feels, and doesn't want to have to give it up here. Coming up on the back, a couple of competitors. The number 22, Damon Scherzen, the Canadian ice racer. Damon got clipped during a session yesterday.
Dives for the inside. Well, be curious to see if that cost him a lot of time. It looked like he threaded his way through there pretty nicely, but again, did he lose anything? Previous best was a 157.275 that holds the top spot right now.
The last blue car was Ben Bettenhausen that he went by.
57.9, so 3/4 of a second down on his previous best. I don't think he lost that much dealing with that traffic, but see if he keeps pushing. No one else really running personal best through the sectors here in TCA, so that lap time that he's got on the board may be good enough to maintain that pole position with less than a minute to go.
So we continue to watch his lap. Just with Scherzen, he got the 22 Tech Sport Subaru, got clipped by a TCR car in the practice session, and that crew had to do a bit of thrashing last night to get him out on track, so well done to the Tech Sport team.
Good racing, number 74 is where I started my go-kart career with.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, 1974 is when I started racing. So, seemed appropriate.
Yeah, exactly. Seemed to go pretty well for him.
Yeah. It's tough to believe because I'm only 38 years old.
I know. But you look every bit of 38.
Through this sector, just trying to not get any scrub.
Is that chicane?
He may bail on this because I don't see any personal bests here. So he, again, sometimes unless he has a predictive, he's going to finish or not.
He's
going.
in, yep.
Yeah.
Bettenhausen will continue.
Sometimes you can be on, like we talked about earlier, Greg, you can be on a hot lap and you're executing, and, oh, this is a really good lap going. You can't recognize from the seat of the pants that you are just losing that little bit of grip all the way around the racetrack, which is costing you time.
So as the checker is out, most everybody is in, just a couple of cars out. Walker is still out. He's heading over through the exit of the S's into that chicane in the number 34.
Well, as we've seen before, he's always improving late in sessions, late in races. He just laid down his personal best in Sector 1, so currently 6. Can James Walker sneak in a lap that'll push him further up the grid? If he can gain a 10th, may move him up 1 position.
Here he comes as the graphic comes up, but let's watch. Walker, he stays out. So this is provisional at this point, but this lap for Walker should count. And we'll see if he jumps up from the 6th spot you see where he's shown there. And if he moves up, he wants it, he needs it. Comes around and just missed it.
Half a second off his best, yeah.
Boy, he would have loved to have moved up just a couple of tenths, would have moved him up a row. So good effort after that early off, recovering and trying to salvage something here. So he's 6th of the TCR cars. Then it's the TCR Cup machines next up as we now take a look at the results. And again, if you look, the black number with the white background is the TCR Cup car, and Steven Vida, that's impressive. First time out, first pro race.
Head of our championship leader, Brian Putt.
Yeah, that was a great lap. Then Christian Cole, and you can see Mike McCann Jr. not in the mix right now. They're, I'm sure, just thrashing to see if they can get that car ready for the race. He was fine, obviously, but that's a problem. Then you take a look at the rest of the TCA field, headed by Tyler Maxson, Haldeman in the number 69, X Factor Racing, Honda, and Whitmer in the Tech Sport Subaru, the number 91 runaway points leader, then the 59 of Pombo. So, well, I'll tell you, Cal, you take a look here again. TCA top 4 different manufacturers there as well. So continuing to see great parity here in TC.